We give you the news as it is. So stay back and enjoy the show.
All right, and enjoying the show, you shall today. Speaking to issues, different issues in the public space is what we do here at this time. Frank and deep conversations about issues of public importance. When you talk about activities in the last 24 hours or more, it's it's always an active day in Nigeria.
Yeah,
and
it's always.
Yeah, yesterday it was about former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. He went online to bear his mind about the development in the political space in Nigeria. And he went, if you know Nasir El-Rufai, he will always give a piece of his mind.
He will always talk as it is.
As it is, by the way, rightly or wrongly,
yeah.
If it's conservatively or liberally,
if it affects you, you take
fine.
it.
Even if for the right cause or not, it will always be vocal. But one thing is, it takes its time. And when it comes out ballistic. And so its assessment of the Nigerian political space, cut across him giving his opinion about his own party, the APC, and the opposition parties as well. In fact, he said the APC is a party that he cannot recognize anymore, and that wasn't the APC they started, actually. And he couldn't see that for like 2 years, statutory meetings were not held. And so what kind of a political party is that? And he went for the jugular for the opposition parties to say, you guys are having a lot of problems, within your space. Even P2B told him that the Labour Party, as they currently have, he doesn't understand what is going on. And when you check the trajectory of all the opposition parties, it's like the opposition parties are playing opposition to themselves.
We've been talking about this on this table here. We've been saying that this opposition are not actually trying to be an opposition, because they're actually fighting. They're having internal battles, internal struggles, internal fights every minute. And
if it were to be in Africa Magic, right? On Africa Magic movie, you could easily say, oh, somebody has gone somewhere to cause problem to your enemy that they won't have. What did you do just to do something? Yeah, I didn't say anything, but I actually gone somewhere to just cause problem within the camp of the enemy, so that they won't have your time at all.
But it's not only the enemy. APC is also having, just like El-Rufai said.
I'm just saying, I've talked about the APC. What he said
talking about
and that is very categorical and very damning as well, to say the ruling party, in which he is part, at least as of now, he hasn't exited, although he has been missing in action for a while, especially since that ministerial issues in which it wasn't confirmed due to security issues and petitions and all of those things. And so it went low, and then occasionally it just comes.
One would somehow think he's just being bitter, because probably he was hoping, he was hoping to get the ministerial appointment, and as per the fact that he's a party member and somehow it didn't work out for him like that, so maybe he's just trying to bring out things to hit the party. But
obviously the thing is, by the way, I'm not the biggest of his fan, personally speaking. I'm not much of a fan of El-Rufai, but then the thing is, sometimes you have to leave the container and check the content at times. Sometimes the container and the content are very important as well. But in this case, where is the lie in what El-Rufai has said? Just show, is there anything that looks like a lie here? But then trust the presidency and the handlers and all of those persons. Know that they will come at him.
Of course.
And yesterday they already started.
It's very, very, it's predictable. Yes, it's predictable. You can't just talk about the ruling party, and the president is more likely the head of that ruling party, because he is. So, and
the president is the leader of the party.
You just talk about it, you expect them not to have a response. They're definitely going to have a response.
Daniel Bwala, one of the spokespersons to the president, already responded and say, my senior brother. When politicians want to somebody like say in Nigeria, the moment somebody comes to you and say, with due respect. They just want to disrespect you. Just know.
I'm telling
you.
So
they are craving your indulgence to say, I'm coming
respectfully.
A piece of my mind. And he said, my senior brother, would you have said this if actually you are part of this government? And that's very important as well. To say if he is part of this government in any capacity, will it go ballistic? Will he come, even when those concerns are his, he might never make it public.
Yes, he will make
possibly
it public.
Might have expressed it to,
the party members or
people
those
involved and all of these things. But then it is what it is you trust Nigerian politicians. The moment they leave power, all of a sudden they are rational, they are logical,
of course,
they are patriotic, and they show it, and then they see from the angle of the people. They show it. Yeah. That's just it, because everybody
that's what I talked about earlier. It said because it's this thing is just, even though you're trying so hard, you're fighting not to bring it out. Unconsciously, sometimes it just comes out because you're bitter, you're angry, like this people did me bad, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that. So, all right. Well, what Bal actually said, well, I also say, it's coming from the side of the truth.
It's allowed, because the Boala himself, the Boala that said give Tinubu 50 years or 30 years, won't be able to do anything. All of a sudden now, he's speaking for the same Tinubu.
That's politicians. No permanent enemy, no permanent friend.
Don't take them too seriously. And very importantly, don't be caught in the crossfire in their battle. All of these and more we have for you. The development in Lagos, especially at the State House of Assembly, the ruling party in Lagos, the APC, and the battle, of leadership, if there's anything like that, by the way, between Mojisola Miranda, the newly sworn in Lagos, by the way, it's not newly again, almost 2 weeks now, of Lagos State House of Assembly Speaker, and the impeached or removed Speaker, Mudassir Obasa, is saying, I am not standing down. Due process were not followed, and people are expecting. Did you see that video of when Madam Speaker made her way to the House of Assembly on Monday, and the retinue of people that followed her, and you could see people's. We get there because of the time. Yeah, you could see some persons representative forming hype men.
Yes, sir.
The other one was doing prayer warrior. Nigeria. Interesting. By the way, politics is always interesting, especially when you are looking from afar.
Right.
Especially.
Just don't be a member. Else you have heart attack.
Let's go. We'll go on this quick break. We'll be back. Stay with us. All right, thank you for staying with us. And the newspaper segment is where we are right now, where we give you headlines from major dailies every day. And I will be starting today from the Punch newspaper, the Punch for today. Tariff hike. Subscribers head for court as NCC talks deadlocked. Tariff hike. Subscribers head for court as NCC talks deadlocked. And you have this rider, NCC mum, as subscribers insist on reversal, demand 10% tariff increase. Again, the rider to that story says, NCC mum, as subscribers insist on reversal, demand 10% tariff increase. This is one conversation that I'm sure we have not seen the end of it at all. Because it has to do with increase in the spendings of the people. The billings are getting worse, if you understand what I mean. So
we're generally build
peak, and to all of that, there is an association called, I think, Subscriber Association, Telecoms Subscribers or so, and they have been saying no. Some of them even said, let it be 50% increase to whatever we have on ground right now. And telcos are insisting on 100% that whatever service they are offering, it should be increased by 100%, or something close to that. But some persons are saying, if actually you want to increase at all, let it be 10% increase. And it's still back and forth. And I think the NCC has given the nod to the minister in charge, that's Bosun Tijani, through the right agency, has given the nod to these telcos to say you can increase, but by so and so percentage. Nigerians are saying, is that you remove it, or at worst, 10%.
I'm not trying to be, I'm not supporting any party or any camp at all, but I would like to say that, aren't we being somewhat selfish? Because we had the time when PMS was hiked, and I know we did our best, we tried and everything, but we're not out there saying we're taking you to court. I mean, I've seen Sarah is coming out, taking to court and all the rest of our NCC. Yeah,
and then few protests here and there.
Then nothing really happened. We lived through it. We've been living with it. And then food prices have been skyrocketing. Lots of things around us. Almost everything has skyrocketed. It's only normal for these people to actually maintain their business. Or are we ready to, go to the blackout, in a situation where we can no longer make calls, you can no longer call your family, you can no longer stay where you are and reach out, you can no longer do online transactions and all the rest. So we should look at these things. They have come out to say, we need this. Because ordinarily, we know that the economy is already hard.
We should look at who are your
Nigerians should look at it. I mean, should be considerate.
Considerate.
Yes, Nigerians should be considerate because that's a business. I mean, we should leave it at the 50%. I'm not talking about them getting to 100, but at least the 50% is okay.
See, your use of words, we. You get to explain to Nigerians.
Of course,
when they get
Nigerians,
hold of you at the right place. All right.
They can't get hold of me at the right place. We're just talking, not supporting any camp per se, but I'm not saying they should get it to 100%. NCC is looking at 100%, but 50% is okay.
All right.
Because they're running the business.
Nigerians will get hold of you. I know what I'm saying. I'm not talking about physically.
I know.
By the way, you know where. Okay. It's like, what they call it on social media, dragging. By the time they see this tape and say, yeah, you see the face like that of a Cameroonian. She's not part of us.
Oh, right. Cameroonian, seriously.
All right, 3,690 Nigerians listed as a U.S. mass deportation continues. Still on the Punch newspaper, 3,690 Nigerians listed as a U.S. mass deportation continues. It's a lot. I'm sure you've seen a series of videos of people running helter-skelter, especially people with documentation issues and, and all of those things. And part of the conversation is the fact that because of this crackdown on immigrants, especially the not so documented ones or the illegal immigrants, and all of those persons, or the ones that are even documented, but possibly, everybody is just on edge, actually.
Yeah, everyone
especially
is on
when
edge.
you are not a, so to speak, true born of the United States, because we even learned those that are born in the United States now, maybe in the last, how many years, I'm not too sure, we have their birth certificate revoked and all of those things. Although there have been, I'm sure there will be litigations, there are pushbacks and all of those things, is the fact that many Americans, even those you call, the true borns, the whites, all of those persons, some of them are already complaining that very soon America will have a food problem. And some sectors of the economy will be affected because those guys who run this economy, who work on these plantations, work on these farms, are not coming out again because they are afraid of being apprehended
and
deported and all of those things. So there are videos yesterday of some farm produce wasting because nobody will work on it. The guys are supposed to work on it are not coming out. They are scared.
It's a natural thing.
These are some of the issues. So imagine if this goes on for like a month,
2 months.
There will be, perishable products will be affected.
Waste.
And of course, these are some of the issues. But it seems Mr. Trump is not perturbed at all.
At all.
And it's more like, what's next? Where are we touching next? Give me the file. Where are we doing? retrieved. And very important is the conversation of the withdrawal of the US from the WHO.
Yeah.
That's one important part. Another part is the withdrawing of funding of funds from some causes, from some intervention, especially in the health sector. Now, many persons have been talking about how these will affect the African continent, especially many African countries who depend on these foreign aids to tackle some diseases, especially, all these tuberculosis, HIV, that have their drugs free. Some persons are paying, including the US. Mr. Trump is saying, pause on everything, withdraw it. So what becomes of people who are using antiretroviral drugs? And so when these things are no more affordable, people will not be able to use it. People living with HIV, all of a sudden, it will snowball into the full-blown AIDS. And these are some of the... Now, you won't blame Trump for our own problem. But the issue is there should be a wake-up call for Africa as a continent and the countries and all of his leaders that are just misbehaving anyhow because they have a foreign aid that they are, working with. Now, no more. Mr. Trump is saying, no more.
When he had his...
No more.
No more. When he had his speech, his inaugural speech, I said it. I said, it seemed like he was coming out for war. And this is a full-blown, not war literally, not war in the normal form, but just
his own part of style of administration on one side.
Yes.
Now, if you have a helper who has been helping you, and instead of you developing capacity to meet up, so that you
coming to that
you are not doing now that. And the helper withdraws. You can't blame the helper for
yes, some persons on the public space have also been saying that this is a medium for us to actually work on our country.
Of course.
Because if people are saying, yes, leave the US, you are flooding there too much, like your life depends there. Come back here, let's put heads together and work it out. Our leaders should learn to, in fact, this thing should be, it should also be moved to our leaders. No more coming there for health, anything, traveling for health, care, tourism, and all the rest.
We said it on Monday.
It should also get to them so that they can remain here.
No, I think the last time we had a medical conversation, I can't remember, maybe on Monday or last week, we talked about what we thought the COVID-19 will help us to do better. Because people couldn't travel.
Yeah.
Even the ones that have the means cannot go there because that place was worse off at the time.
Of course.
And everybody was running helter-skelter. People are now trooping out of public institutions that are badly maintained into these so-called well-maintained private hospitals,
institutions.
And they still died. Some of them died. Some of the cases were, rescued and all of those things. So you think after we are out of that problem, it will give us a reawakening and everybody will know that we have something to do. But far. That's a lie. We are back here. And 4 years or 5 years down the line after COVID-19, people, our medical personnel are now trooping out of the same system. Now, if you understand, in Yoruba, they say, our oniduro now. Some of our oniduros, which is helper, benefactors now, they are removing their hands. They are pulling out their funds. What becomes of this nation? Now, that's just about, but we should have that conversation. Because now, if nobody will talk to you, you should talk to yourself.
Of course.
You can't blame somebody that is helping you. They are not obliged to help you.
Of course, they didn't sign anything with you, no contract.
What we want to do with all our loans is to buy SUVs and maintain buildings in
and
Lagos,
travel
in Abuja,
the world,
and just be junketing all around and be collecting a huge amount of money. And at the end of 4 years, you come back to the people to say, no, I need time. I will do better. I will do this. And I'm sorry, gullible voters at times too. We believe it's my party member, it's from my ward, it's my town person, it's my umu, it's my person. All of these things.
At the end of 4 years, they'll come and tell us they are living on the rent of their
I think when they say, I don't clear now, I don't clear. Those soft loans, soft grant you get, it's not helping anybody. It's a problem, actually, and so we should speak to us.
Please, baby, do that again.
About that conversation. The time to have that serious, frank conversation is now.
Yes.
But I'm not sure the people that are even involved are perturbed already. Because this issue of these stamina diseases.
They don't seem worried at all with what is happening because they feel like they are ready, that they have their cases settled. Okay. It's just the ordinary citizens.
You would think they had their cases settled before coronavirus. And coronavirus decked everybody.
That's what I'm saying. I need this Trump orders or his policies to actually hit the leaders.
It's a wake-up call.
It's actually going to go.
Now, lastly, on the Punch, you were broke. Wike bankrolled your election. Dogara tells Bauchi governor. These are words between former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, and of course the incumbent governor there, Bala Mohammed. And then there's the Wike dimension. Even when the Wike has not really, there was a time Wike said people that were trying to whittle down his power in Rivers, if they don't have a problem, he will set fire.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the fire that we are talking about now, because Yakubu Dogara is hammering Bala Mohammed.
Yeah.
And Larry Olayinka, the spokesperson to Wike, went full ballistic yesterday against Bala Mohammed to say you, and all of those things. Interesting one there. You were broke.
Politics.
Wike bankrolled your election, Dogara tells Bauchi governor. Of course, you will know there will be a rebuttal from the Bala Mohammed camp. And you know how politicians can go personal on issues. Whatever they think can give them the points, they do.
They'll bring it out.
That'll be all from the Punch.
And from the Punch, we move straight to the Daily Trust. We have Confab, how to make 2027 polls credible, acceptable. We have Confab, how to make 2027 polls credible, acceptable. And the writers that we have, rigging plans already unfolding, Tambuwal. Okay. Rigging plans already unfolding, Tambuwal. PDP conducted worst elections, APC. PDP conducted worst elections, APC. Okay, this 2025 is really heated up. It's really, really heated up. It feels like the election, general election, is just like next few months, in a few months' time. Because the way our politicians are now coming at each other, the words like the fighting. The other day we had the article saying, and some other politicians saying that democracy is gradually losing its value in Nigeria. That there's no room for the opposition. We'll be having talks over 2027. That's just, to me, I always say it's still more like 2 years away, but our politicians are saying it like it's 2 months away.
That's it.
And they say PDP conducted the worst elections. Well,
it's allowed.
Let me leave that matter before Femi will tell me that they will carry me. How did you say that when they find me?
I said they will get hold of you.
They will get hold of me.
In the public space.
The public space.
By virtue of social media dragging.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
PDP and APC, to me, I don't even see a difference. That's just the truth.
It's not your place to say a difference.
It's not my place at all. But to me, I don't do. Comparing the both of them, APC and PDP, this is just political talks to me. Right. They're just trying to bring out themselves. Yeah. That'll be all on the Daily Trust this morning.
All right. Away from the Daily Trust newspaper, we have The Guardian for today. And expiration of exit notice, worry over regional security, trade in ECOWAS without Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Again, expiration of exit notice, worry over regional security, trade in ECOWAS without Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. These are our brothers, and they have chosen to go form an alliance because of the coup situation that happened in those countries. And, there were deadlines, there were ultimatums, there was pushback from the ECOWAS to say power should, be in the democratic setting. The coup plotters and the guys who are there now should leave and let there be democracy. But those guys are holding on tight. And so they have gone away. 3 of them, so this place is talking about what is trade, what is security, without your brothers who are pulling in another direction while the rest of you are in this direction. But everybody has their reason why they do what they do as well. And I think that I think towards the end of last year, there was a mandate from the AU or the ECOWAS, by the way, that the leader, which is President Bola Tinubu, should do everything possible, to pull them. There have been sanctions, from ECOWAS, including Nigeria, against some of these countries. And some of these countries as well, some of them, I think Niger or thereabouts, have thrown tantrums, so to say. They have tried to say Nigeria is collaborating with France to attack them and all of those. Remember that time, just before in December. Now, federal government deploys single window system to recover $3 billion, meet $1 trillion target. Again, federal government deploys single window system to recover $3 billion, meet $1 trillion target. Now, next, 2027, APC, Sani Bwala tackle Atiku El-Rufai as Obi clarifies on coalition. 2027, APC, Sani Bwala tackle Atiku El-Rufai as Obi clarifies on coalition. I see you giggling already. One would think Bwala, that was the spokesperson to Atiku in the last election, he's sitting at the other part of the fence now. So
politicians,
definitely you can tackle your former principal.
Of course.
It's allowed. And many persons are waiting on Peter Obi to really talk this coalition thing with the body language, especially those of his fierce, obedient followers and all of those persons. It's either Peter Obi or nothing. Them. So that's actually what talk about coalition, possibly is not for them. But we spoke to one of them, I think Dr. Mo, a few weeks ago, who said they are loyal to Peter Obi and anything he does, it's okay by them.
Wherever he moves, they go.
It's not really about the party for them, the Labour Party. It's about the Obi
We've actually been hearing a lot of that. I saw something online a few days ago and someone said that what they don't understand about the Labour Party is that if Peter Obi had not been in the Labour Party would have just remained where it was. That the obedience movement is just that they had to tag to a party because you can't just come out.
No independent
you can't. So that's why they just moved to the Labour Party. So it's not about the Labour Party. Whatever fiasco, whatever that is going on in the party is none of their business. That the obedience, I'm like, okay.
Well then, even if and when 2027 comes and Peter Obi, if actually is interested of still running again, one will say he still needs a party.
Of course.
The Electoral Act, as we currently have, does not give way or opportunity to independent candidates. So he still has to pitch his tent somewhere, and it has to be a noticeable party because, trust me, except you are be unrealistic, you can't go and follow one party from, I don't know, with due respect to all of them, a relatively unknown party, so to speak, and pitch your tent. This is just less than 2 years, over just let's say 2 years to the next election, right? Because election always happens around February or thereabout. Any general election
February,
year. So
March.
Just say 2 years away. Anybody that is serious of being Nigeria's president, the intention should have been made known now. Even when you can, go for
really
campaigns, you can't do that except within a particular window that is given.
But
then your intention should be known. The party in which you fly on should be known. Nigeria's presidency is not that of a SUG president that you can just do in a session or a time. Even people with SUG ambition, they will have been.
I was going to come to that because in school,
from their earlier years, like you just don't start. You don't just start.
You see them from SG, or they call it SGS, those departmental representatives,
executives,
from there,
class governors,
like
faculty executives, and all of those things. You don't just want to be an SUG president and the date or the month or that semester that election will happen is when you are now printing posters. It doesn't work that way. Talk less of this great nation called Nigeria. With 36 states and the FCT, you must have built your bridges and do your calculation very well. And here, African leaders, partners, commit $50 billion to improved power supply. Others. Who are these African leaders? African leaders, partners commit $50 billion to improve the power supply. Others, I think if there is any time that Nigerian, Burkinabe, Guinean, South African, Egyptian, Tunisian, every African country needs to come together, it is now for us to develop this continent so that this continent will not always be like this.
Yes,
like
for every time you mention Africa, you just know that it's this is what the third world, always third world.
Always
there's a way.
Their place to go
yes,
and beg.
always
should do better.
like
even with all the mineral resources that we have, petrol that we have
very
a lot of
things.
Land that we have. But the most important part that it appears that we don't have is the leadership.
Yeah,
that we administer all these things to the prosperity of the people. Instead, you have the group, and I'm not even talking about Nigeria alone now. You have a group of people in Africa that will be leading for 30 years. There's a situation.
They're taking it as their father's property.
Paul Biya has been there like forever.
And they won't want to go down till
Mugabe came in a very good way and then sat tight. There until he was practically he wasn't able to do anything on his own. Yoweri Museveni is still in Uganda. And none of these persons, what exactly is the issue? How can you be there and somebody is 40 years old as an individual and that person has only known a president? Talking about what is happening in Cameroon. They keep tweaking the constitution to fit them. Yeah. These are the things. Same thing is happening. Paul Kagame, he came as a military leader. Although you might say Rwanda is getting better, but can't we do better? Can't we just in a place for like 12, 20, 30 years, and you can't raise a leader that will succeed you. In fact, son will leave, the papa will leave, the pikin will continue.
Yeah, I think that happened with Gaddafi during the time of Gaddafi.
These are some of the issues that we are having. Africa needs to do better as a country. So that, these are some of the issues that when people travel abroad, you see those guys, the people, Americans, and maybe UK guys and all of those guys, they refer to everybody from Africa. They think it's like a country. And when you are traveling, they tell you are going back to Africa. Africa is not a place. It's a continent.
Get the point. I'm telling you. They just look at us like...
be asking you, I know a guy. His name is Femi. And do you know Femi? How can I know Femi? This is a continent. Because they believe everybody that comes from outside.
We're just in a place.
And everybody can just see themselves, Sometimes it's the image that is portrayed by the media, by the way. Always painting Africa to be like a war-torn zone, a village, a zoo.
People without common
that don't
sense.
Wear clothes and all of these things. But then will you blame them? Some of our leaders portray us in that manner. As we round off this session, Dr. Motosho was here yesterday, in which he said it was on a meeting. I think when President Obasanjo was trying to seek for debt relief, and he said those persons that they were having meeting with, the creditors, and he has said it severally, by the way, I've heard him say that they came in, all these small cars and all of these things to have a meeting, and the people that are seeking for debt forgiveness, they came in SUVs.
I'm telling you.
You are the one looking for help. By the time you even see the convoy, you will think, who is owing who? Who is the debtor here? And who is the creditor in all of these things? We need to do better because...
We really need to do better.
Everybody I don't clear. These are the issues. If you are not sure if Donald Trump will return some of these things or possibly cut it by half or 80% and all of these things, it shows that we have a work to do. We have the capacity. We have the resources.
We have the resources.
Where is the leadership? That is a multi-million-dollar question. We take this break. When we return, we speak to issues. Stay with us.